So in previous videos, I feel like I have been way too harsh on Selena Gomez, and I just wanted to do something to focus on the positives of Selena, because she does make harmless fun and some emotional music for the most part. She has a great personality, she seems as if she's a great role model. We all know I don't find her to be the most alluring person, and she doesn't have the strongest voice. However, she does have a manageable tone and quality. So today I'm going to be rating Selena's albums through my personal taste and just reflecting throughout her very successful career. Starting with my least favorite album by her, Stars Dance, Selena's very first album without a band. Stars Dance was not a very good debut. It was heavily dubstep and EDM influenced and has its listenable moments, but the record falls flat entirely. You just wait for that one banger that will blow the album out of the water or the album's standout song, but it never comes. Sure, she has some attention grabbers, but nothing that makes you want to re-listen. This album was post-Disney Selena, and she was still developing herself as an individual artist, but it didn't really sit well with me. A lot of this album sounds like Rihanna rejects, and I don't mean that in a bad way because she pulls it off with a few songs, but it lacks personality. Her personality, I should say. My favorites off this album is Stars Dance, Forget Forever, Come and Get It, and Birthday. Next up on the list, we have Selena's debut album with her band, The Scene, which was her first footing in music, and it plays off of the pop-punk era of that time. You can hear the Avril and Pink influence. I find this album to be very energetic and exciting. There's no definite low point in this album, since a lot of the album sounds quite similar, but it was a very typical teen pop album at that point in time. Although the album was pretty solid, it didn't seem like her. It seemed like a machine was behind her, which is understandable. She was just becoming a household name with Wizards of Waverly Place, and Disney had to make her as packaged as possible to appeal. This album showcases a very confident and young Selena with pretty catchy pop-punk tunes. My favorites off this album are Naturally, I Don't Miss You at All, and Falling Down. Then we have A Year Without Rain, her second album with The Scene, which completely switches her direction from pop-punk to dance pop, and a lot of auto-tune. This album is flooded with catchy, fun, enthusiastic songs, with A-list producers such as Red One and Rock Mafia to superstar writers such as Katy Perry. The album just falls in one area completely for me, which is the message. Yes, she has the cliche vulnerable and sad songs and the cliche fun and dance songs on here, but it's almost like it's only a collection of songs, not an album. There was absolutely no clear message with this album or what it was standing for. She did say it was dedicated to her fans and wanted to make people feel good, but I feel like that was just a token saying that a team of writers and producers were hired for this album. It just feels like every song of this album was made specifically to chart and not made of an artist, but while saying that, the album is still very fascinating. My favorites from this album are the title track, Rock God, Spotlight, and Ghost of You. Next we have When the Sun Goes Down, her last and final album with her band The Scene. This album also included A-list superstar writers such as Britney Spears and Katy Perry, to A-list producers, who she's frequently collaborated with. This album was a major step in her career and shows her blossoming one step at a time. This was towards the ending of her Disney show, and she was becoming a bit more explicit. We'll all never forget when she said damn and hit the lights, and we were completely shocked. When the Sun Goes Down is pretty much fully listenable. Every track is well crafted. You can hear the similarities with her older records through this one, but in a progressive way. I also really like the aesthetic she took on with this album. My favorites from this album are Love You Like a Love Song, Outlaw, Whiplash, Hit the Lights, and Who Says. And lastly, her best album to date, I Was Wrong, I Was Extremely Wrong. Revival is amazing. It really is. It's a more personable album, and Selena has also had creative control. She writes the trends, but she does it to her liking, and it's in a very refreshing way. It's an album where I feel she can actually start to be taken more seriously as an artist. The only thing this album sort of lacks is originality, but her vulnerability, delivery, and quality makes up for it. It's a very cohesive body of work, and it's nice to listen to. I really didn't remember it being so good, but it excels for an average Selena Gomez record, and has the right mix of fun songs and gloomy songs. It really is a very captivating record. My favorites off this album are Camouflage, Perfect, and Good For You. Now, songs that are in some of my top Selena songs that either aren't on the albums yet, or weren't mentioned are Fetish, Feel Me, and The Heart Wants What It Wants. Anyways, tell me what you think about this list, what is your favorite Selena Gomez song or album, and how you feel about her as an artist.